Okay, let's for a minute just talk about paint cup systems. Now, traditionally what fits to a gun, as we've covered, is either the suction cup, normally aluminium, or the gravity feed gun, you have gravity cup. These white ones are made of something called POM. Don't ask me what the acronym stands for, but if you see POM cup on a website, that means white plastic, basically. This is one option. A far cleaner and more efficient way of changing paint in your spray gun is using a disposable cup system. Now, there are lots of different types on the market. 3M make one called the PPS system, originated in the automotive spraying industry. PPS stands for Paint Preparation System. Merca do one called the PCS, Paint Cup System. Lots of other people do them, especially in the automotive sector. Collab, Disposable, I don't know if Disposable do one, but I can't think, but there are loads of different ones. Each system has its own adapter that fits onto your spray gun and lets you use those cups. So these are an example of some of the adapters. 3M have two systems, Series 1 and Series 2. Series 1 is their older system, which if you have that system, you can fit. There are lots of other aftermarket cups which will fit onto a Series 1 adapter. The Series 2 system is unique. It has a much bigger paint flow hole there, and the connection system is unique. So if you choose 3M Series 2, you're kind of committed to buying the original Series 2 lids and liners. By the way, Wellcome manufacture an aluminium adapter. These are stainless steel and they're quite heavy. For certain models we can get aluminium ones which are much lighter. They're black anodized, and they're a nice addition to a lightweight spray gun. Right, if you choose a normal system, which is a gravity gun, this is the kind of, you get a hard cup which contains a lid and a liner. This one is Merca. This one, for example, is 3M. I'm just going to take this apart. So your adapter would go into the spray gun. This then plugs into the adapter and becomes your source of paint. Within this cup is there's the outer hard cup, and then inside you have a lid. You have a lid and a liner, and this collapses as the paint gets sucked out, which is a handy way of making a disposable system. So then when you want to change colour of your paint, you just throw that away and put a new lid liner system in, and plug it back onto your spray gun, and off you go again. So arguably you're wasting plastic, but also you're reducing the use of thinners. So for example, if you had a traditional cup like this and you had to wash it out, you're using a whole load of acetone and thinners to wash that out. So it's kind of, 6 of one, half a dozen the other in terms of the environmental impact of a disposable lid liner system versus a solvent using traditional system. There's one other option of these, which 3M manufacture a pressure fed lid liner system. These are called their high output cups, and these are the system we actually really love to fit to our spray guns. I'm going to go into detail on these in a separate video. They're available in midi size. This is 3M Series 2 400mm hard cup, which can take either a 400mm lid and liner or a 200mm lid and liner, which fits into this cup. It just goes halfway down. That's the midi size. There is also the large size. This is 850mm, again 3M Series 2 pressure fed lid liner system. This can take an 850mm lid liner inside, or a 650mm, which just doesn't go all the way to the bottom. One note when you're choosing to buy lids and liners is you get different size filters in the lids. So this, for example, these lids have two different colours. There is coarse and fine. The coarse is 200 micron mesh inside the lid, and the fine is 125 micron. And if you can't see that, there is a little tab where you can pull these filters out. So I'm just going to show you if you can see. If you're spraying things like metallic or a high solid paint such as liquid metal, you do need to pull the filter out because it'll just clog. But with conventional paints, these are really handy. So that is an overview of your lid liner system. Mirka do the whole range as well. They don't do the pressure assisted cup, but they also do the different sizes, 650ml, 400ml, and you could look all those up on the website. One last thing on the lid liner systems is the blanking plug. Now most manufacturers provide these with their lid and liner kit. The blanking plug is handy because if you had some paint left over or maybe some thinners that you wanted to keep for later use, you can take a blanking plug and push it into the lid of the liner, and it will keep that from leaking and from air getting into it for later use. Also, and not a lot of people know this, the same plug which is supplied with these also fits into the PPS adapter. So bearing in mind that's fitted to your spray gun, if you wanted to wash your spray gun through with, say, gun wash or acetone, but you didn't want it to dry out, you can keep it wet by putting some acetone or gun wash, and then you take the plug and push it into the PPS adapter. Sometimes you have to pull the trigger a tiny bit and it just squirts a tiny bit out, and then that is a closed system and it will keep your gun wet and stop it blocking for next time you use it.